Okay, let's talk about those Twins, shall we? Stop me if you've heard this one before. Seventh inning. Twins in a one-run game. They're actually competing with the Yankees. We talked yesterday, Reggie. All you wanted them to do was just go compete. They're doing that, going toe for toe. Here comes Tyler Duffy, gives up a 3-run bomb shot to Anthony Rizzo, busts the game wide open. Yanks take a 4-run lead in the 7th, never look back, ultimately winning 10-4. They win their 7th in a row. Rocco Baldelli said in the postgame presser, it wasn't the bats last night, and they had a chance to compete with the league's best baseball team. But obviously, when you give up 10 runs, it's going to make things difficult. Your thoughts on the game, Rocco's comments, and just what the heck are we doing with Tyler Duffy?
So there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
You know, the game started. Rookie Cole Sands looked like he was just not supposed to be out there. Gives up the 2-run bomb to Judge. Gives up the solo bomb to Stanton. And, like, these balls are not just, like, barely getting out of the yard. Like, 431 off the bat of Judge. 445 off the bat of Stanton. Like, they were tagging Sands. And I think what has been interesting is people have been critical of Rocco this season with the quick hook that he has for some of the pitchers that he throws out there, especially some that are doing fairly well on the mound. Where here he had a guy who was struggling last night. You know, he eventually settled down over a couple innings, but then he got into trouble again. And Rocco finally decided to pull him, but it seemed like it was a little late for him to do that. And so, you know, some of these pitching decisions just continue to be puzzling to me. That being said, the Twins were gamers last night. You know, the Yankees seemed like they were overpowering them, and they seemed like they, you know, kind of outmatched the Twins. But then you got Jameson Taillon, like, he gave up more runs and more hits than he's given up all season. That's a testament to this Twins team. They were tagging Taillon. Like, they were getting to him. Polanco was a hit short of the cycle. He was a triple short of the cycle last night. The dude was killing it. And they had the right like mix there to compete with the Yankees, and it was just so tough. Because today, or after the game, they DFA'd Juan Minaya. And you're just like, okay. Like, because he was the problem.
What are we doing
All
here?
right. And then they keep Tyler Duffy around, which, by the way, we were just talking to Nash Walker earlier this week. And he was saying he was kind of caping for Duffy a little bit, kind of saying that, you know, he gets a little bit of a bad rap. And, you know, he thinks that he's a little bit better than maybe what people think. Well, you keep putting him in these high leverage situations, and it just continues to blow up in their face. And at some point, it's the definition of insanity. Just doing the same thing, hoping for a different result, and that different result is not happening. Like, at some point, you gotta stop it with the insanity. You keep putting them out there, and bad things continue to happen. That shot from Anthony Rizzo last night was basically like, get home safe, bye-bye.
Buckle up.
Good night, Irene.
Take care. Yep.
Grab a hot dog on the way out to take home. We know you're hungry still, because it's time to go. Like, and it was just like, dude, like, that was just demoralizing, because they were hanging in there by a couple runs, and you feel like, okay, we're in striking distance, and then all of a sudden the 3-run bomb is just like, well, so much for that one. We'll try to get them in the next game. And it's just like, when you have a chance to be able to beat a team like the Yankees, which they were in position to be able to try to do last night, and then you don't get a chance to do that, it is so demoralizing for the team. And what you hope to see is they come out and compete again with the Yankees, but, like, they need some help, man. Like, this pitching is just, I mean, they're in a rough spot. No Joe Ryan. They do expect to get Carlos Correa back tonight, which helps. But like Rocco said, the bats weren't the problem. Them getting Correa out there really isn't, you know, like, it's a luxury, because the bats weren't the problem. They need to get some of this pitching back. but they're not going to get some of this pitching back anytime soon. So they have to kind of stand pat and make do. And that's going to continue to be a problem.
Yanks got up to that 3-0 lead right out the gate, and they just never really stepped on the throat. They never stepped on the gas. They kind of left the door open up until that seventh inning. But Twins have a legitimate curse against the Yankees right now. I mean, it's a real thing at this point. No one can deny it. They've been swept by them in the playoffs, not once, but multiple times over the past decade and a half. And that was against some really good, great Twins teams 2 years ago when they broke the record for most home runs in a season. Back a few years further when it was the Mauer, Morneau, Cuddy, etc. Swept, 3 and done, toast. The Twins have lost 116 of 163 games versus the Yankees since 2000, including the playoffs. Shout out to our guy Nash Walker on Twitter for the stat. That's a full season, though, where the Twins win just 47 games of 163 against one team. That's like watching the Cincinnati Reds this season every time the Twins play the Bronx Bombers. Now, obviously, you got to keep into account here. Yeah, the Yankees, more seasons than not, are really, really good. But those stats are just hideous, Reggie. At what point does it become like a mental thing of that? We're a small market team. We can't compete with the big market and salary cap of these guys because these aren't bad Twins teams taking the field year in and year out.
First of all, that Yankees lineup is unreal.
It's insane.
Insane, man.
Bananas.
Just insane. You got
Judge,
all
Rizzo,
up and down
Stanton,
the lineup.
Donaldson. Oh.
And then, Aaron Hicks, who isn't the player that he was, but, the dude has been efficient in the league before. Then you got LeMahieu there.
Yep.
Yeah, then you got DJ LeMahieu toward the bottom of the lineup. Like the lineup from top to bottom, I don't think there's a better lineup in baseball outside of maybe the Dodgers. And there's no reason why, they're the top team in the league right now. That makes sense. That makes sense that they're the top in the league right now because of, the pitching stacked, the lineup, the bats just stacked. It's just woo. It gives the pitcher no time to breathe. You strike out Aaron Judge last night and you're like, whew. All right, cool. And then all of a sudden, Anthony Rizzo shows up. You're just like, goodness gracious, okay. So then you try to battle with Rizzo, and then you're done with him. And then all of a sudden, Stanton comes up with the most menacing presence in that batter's box, crowds the plate, that wide open stance. He just looks like he's about to murder people. It's just crazy. He's a menace. It's tough, man. It's hard not to be intimidated by this Yankees team. But I think, looking at it yesterday, I don't think the Twins were intimidated. The things just ended up snowballing on them and snowballing quick late. And I think this Twins team believes they can beat the Yankees regardless of, I don't think there's necessarily that much of a thing, there's this pronounced thing of oh my gosh, it's the Yankees, we can't beat them, oh my goodness. I think they feel like they can compete with them. It's just some of the firepower is just not matching.
When you finally sit down and just get a chance to watch this Yankees lineup, 1 through 9, absolutely bananas. Bananas, bananas. 2 through 5, Judge, probably going to be the MVP of the league. Rizzo, Stanton, and Donaldson. That's just 2 through 5. I'm sorry, what video game are we playing right now? And that's just the hitting. You're right. The pitching has been absolutely rock solid all season too. I'll tell you what, if they don't win the World Series, it's an absolute failure of the season. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, you build a lineup like that and spend that kind of money, you're absolutely all in. Chips all in, middle of the table, World Series or bust. Tom Brady coming back to the Bucs, Super Bowl or bust style. They are the best team in baseball for a reason, and anything less than a championship ring, I think, is just a missed opportunity. It's a lost season, in my opinion. We'll see if the Twins can rally back, steal just one of these games. I think that's all fans are hoping for at this point. Chris Archer on the mound tonight, always good for 3-4 solid innings, squaring off against Nestor Cortez. 5-1 with a 1.5 ERA, right in the backyard, right here, Target Field, 6:40 p.m. Central Standard Times. Yanks looking for their 8th win in a row. Rest assured, Reggie and I will be back here tomorrow to break all that down.